wood chips turned up and it looks really good. So there's 20 cubes in here, and this is really dry. Some years I've got it and it's been just soaking wet, but this is good, and it's clean. There's not much mud in there or anything, so they've must have kept it in a pad, or it's just in a massive pile, I think. But really happy with it this year. It's a bit hard to see, but there's a massive flock of Canadian geese up there. And something else exciting has happened, and that is that I think these are called the forms. So Mike and Damien came out this morning and they put them in. These are where the poles are going to go, because on Monday there's someone going to come and he's going to dig the holes for the poles. Because from what I understand is that the poles are ready to go, they can be delivered, they just got to find a truck to be able to deliver them. So that was a couple of days ago, so hopefully they're here within the week. We're just going to dig the holes, then we can at least when they turn up put them in and concrete them. So not sure when any of the rest of the building's going to turn up, but at least we can get the poles all sorted. See the string line there though, so that's where it's going to run, sort of straight. So it's pretty much running parallel to that shed, and down the other end it's pretty much running straight through there to that strainer. But I really want to move that strainer, just pull it back up that way just a little bit, but I'll know a little bit more once I get the shed up. And there's plenty of room out the front here. It would have been nice to have brought it back this way, but we couldn't, because then it wouldn't have run on this angle. So it's still going to work, and it's still looking really good, so it's exciting. I'm not going to use all that chip over there. I'm probably only going to use about half of it, and then whatever's left, and once the poles are in the ground and concreted, I'm just going to put piles of wood chip in here, because I can potentially use a couple of these bays this year for calves too. Well, that's the plan anyway, but good morning everyone. So it's the next day now. I've just milked my 3 cows, haven't had any more calves, which is good, but the heifers are coming up to the shed because I'm going to run them through again, because they need a B12 and selenium, and also pour on drench, and also a copper bullet, but I couldn't get any copper bullets as of yet, so I'm going to have to bring them to the shed another day and do that as well, but I'll explain why soon. Is that empty heifer, is it? Maybe, maybe not. Dad should be, I can't see him, but he should be coming up here to push these into the shed for me. This is it here. So this is the B12 and selenium, and the pour on drench is here. It's just an Epronex, which is a pretty popular one. But if you want to know what $800 looks like, that is what these two things cost. So it's pretty expensive, but needs doing. And the good thing about this drench is that there's no milk withholding on it whatsoever, which is awesome, because it is close to calving. And what do I need to drench them at? So live weight, I will go 400 kilos. They're not that, but I'll go, that's what they should be. So 40 mils, which is 125. Okay, perfect. And I've got a new drench gun, or it's a pour on gun for it, but I think it only goes to 30, so give them 2 doses of 20. Goes in there, screw that in, and push this top on. Perfect. Well, I don't know what he's doing. He must be putting up fences, but these heifers are up here before and now they've gone back down, so don't really want that happening, but surely he can't be too far away. Locked and loaded and ready to go. So I've put the straps on the drench, that's all good to go. And this B12 is, I've just put a gun on this. This is Dad's old metal one. Usually they're plastic nowadays, but it'll work just fine. And they're getting 5 mils of this, and there's no withholding period on it either. And he's caught up with them, he's just there, so he's bringing them back up. But I've actually never done this before, or given this to the heifers before they calve, and one of the main reasons I'm doing it is because my cousin, who's quite a well-known animal nutritionist slash vet, she came out the other day because I wanted to ask her a few questions about sort of how to get more out of my cows. And at the end of the day, I guess the answer was feed them better. I need to be putting more feed into them, but also she had a look at them and she said that those heifers are majorly short in those things, so I need to give them that to sort of help them, because it sort of helps with muscle growth and development, because these girls are still growing. And that's why today I'm going to do that. It would be handy if we had the copper too, because then I could just whack it down their throat too. But I might have to do that in the weekend, because I think it's going to arrive today or tomorrow, I'm not sure. Just reading the instructions and see if it's intravenous or intramuscular. But it even says here, treatment of pregnant ruminants should benefit newborn animals, particularly when treated later in stages of pregnancy. So they're pretty late at the moment. But I can't, by subcutaneous, not intra, what did I say before? Intravenous, because that's in the vein. So subcutaneous, under the skin, into the neck. Perfect. There is 2 ways I can do it, and I'm going to try and run them up here probably like 6 or 7 at a time. Otherwise, if it's not really working, I can always run them up the race there, which I'll probably get like 4 or 5 in. So it'll take a bit longer, but I'm going to try it through the shed first. And hopefully, because they're used to getting run through from when we teat sealed them, they won't be too bad. Come on. Yeah, that'll do. Yep. You want about 6 or 7. So it's just a little bit too hard to do them in the neck, and that's why they are getting done. There's just a soft flap of skin just at the tail there, so they can get done in there. Just leave those heifers walk down by themselves, everything's all set up, but it is supposed to rain again tonight quite a bit, so what I want to do is, because that wood chip's nice and dry, I want to get it in here today, or try and get as much filled up as possible. I can always put tarp or the plastic sheet over the top to sort of keep it dry, which I'm going to, but might as well fill it up because it needs to be done anyway. But the concrete's all nice and dry at the moment, so what I'm going to do is use this. So I was given a few bags of this Zorby Fresh by Blue Pacific Minerals, and it is mainly just a powder that you chuck down and it absorbs a heap of moisture. So we'll get into it and have a little look. You just, maybe I need a knife. I've never used this stuff before, but what you're supposed to do is just chuck it around like that, and then when moisture goes through the wood chip and into that, it absorbs a heap of the moisture. So just chuck it around, be pretty generous with it, they said. This pen's really easy to fill because I can get the tractor bucket through that door, but I'll just whack some around because I'm going to bring the tractor up next and fill this pen up. Giving it a good covering just like that. So this is actually a rock. They pull it out of the ground. It's a real wet rock, and they pull it out, dry it, and then they turn it into powder. And this stuff's just got really amazing absorption ability. So put that in the base. When the wet goes through, it'll absorb it. And now I'm just going to put some wood chip on top, and then later on I can also put this stuff on in the wood chip as well, and it will just help things keep nice and dry, because that's exactly what you want with a calf shed. Nice and dry pens. It's just good for animal health. Well, these girls are nice and happy. But it's kind of a weird feeling at the moment. Only a week to go till calving really starts, but you kind of just want to get into it. So, oh well, I'll be there soon enough. Better put that bucket on over there though, because I know that can fit through that roller door. Whereas I have a feeling that this one's just going to be too wide, so better be safe than sorry. Probably lucky I swapped that bucket over. I really don't think that other one would have fit in there. It's pretty tight. Oh, maybe, but yeah, would have been very tight. Well, there's one pen done. I guess actually two, because I did up there as well, but just another 6 more to go. Used most of that trailer, so there'll be another 4 or 5 of them to fill the shed up, I imagine. Well, I'm making progress, but it's definitely got that airy feeling about it, like it's going to rain. So that was the second load that I've done then, or second trailer load of stuff. I'm definitely not going to need 5 or 6 because I've only got 3 more pens to do, so probably one good trailer load will do it. Maybe 2, because I could top these pens up and put more in them, but it's starting to look good. Getting there. But I just shot up and fed a bale of hay out to the lates for the morning, because if it's going to be quite wet, it's good feeding them out now, and then I can just chuck them through early. There's already a bale in the earlies, so they're all ready to go. I thought it might have been raining by now and I'd have to shift them today, but it looks like I'm going to get away with not having to shift them this afternoon, which is awesome. But I had parked the tractor there because I was going to load it up and finish the shed, and Dad's come and got it, so I guess I'll just put that tarp over it and done for the night. Then I'll go check those earlies just to see if there's no calves. I don't think there is. Nothing springing up real bad, but you never know. There's definitely no calves in the heifers anyway, but there's still a lot of wood chip here, which it's not a bad thing. I probably only needed 15 cube, but I can put quite a bit in that shed. And I'd say that those pens, because they are 9 by 4.2 metres, so to fill 2 of those bays up, it's going to take quite a lot of wood chip. So I'd say there should be enough. I'll get rid of it anyway. Well, the cover wasn't quite big enough, but at least the majority of it's going to stay clean and dry. Like along the bottom it might get a bit wet and down the edges, but shouldn't be too bad. Doesn't look like there's any calves, which is good. Picked up a couple of little children who just got back from daycare, having an apple. But no, they're alright, they look pretty happy. Didn't look like anything was about to calve this morning when I shifted them, but probably got 2 days there. There's another 3 breaks, but I'm guessing I'm going to probably have to shift them twice tomorrow, and then they've got till Saturday, and after that I don't know where they're going because I'm pretty pushed for grass at the moment. So a little bit of a predicament, but that'll pretty much do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and apart from that, see you next time.